OpenClaw has become one of the fastest growing open source projects on GitHub. And you would have seen a lot of videos on YouTube about how to install it, how to run it, and how it actually changed their lives. But no one really talks about how it actually works under the hood. So in this video, I'm going to break down the complete architecture of OpenClaw in a very simple manner. So by the end of this video, you would also understand how systems like this actually work. So let's get started. The system architecture of OpenClaw is built on primarily two major pillars. The first one is Gateway, which acts as the primary communication and the control layer. So it receives input from multiple different sources, for example, WhatsApp, Slack, Discord, and it also then decides which agent is going to handle it. It also resolves the session and orchestrates the entire flow. Then the second one is the Agent Runtime, which is the execution engine that is powered by Pi. This is where the actual work happens, like LLM things, the tools are called, and the entire task is executed step by step. So this is how the overall architecture of OpenClaw looks like. It might feel a bit daunting, but let me try to explain it in the simplest manner possible. So here are multiple different channels via which OpenClaw can receive a message. It could be WhatsApp, Slack, Discord, iMessage. Now, once an input is received, it first goes into the channel plugin. So channel plugin is primarily responsible for formatting the input that it has received so that it doesn't matter from which channel it has been received, be it WhatsApp, Slack, or any other. And it is able to convert it into a consistent input format that OpenClaw understands. Now, this channel plugin has multiple adapters. So one adapter that I'm talking about is responsible for formatting the input. One could be for account configuration and setup, and there could be multiple different adapters. Now that normalized input then goes into the gateway. So gateway is responsible for the overall control and the communication in the system. So it basically does two things at the moment. The first one is routing, wherein it decides to which agent this request, this input is going to go to, whether it's going to go to the research agent, whether it's going to go to the documentation agent, etc. And this is decided based on the binding rules that are written. Now, each agent in itself has its own workspace, it has its own state directory and session store. So the next thing that Gateway needs to do is to decide whether it needs to reuse an existing session or create a new one. But in order to understand it better, how does Gateway decides whether it needs to create a new one or use the existing one? That let me try to explain you. But before that, you need to understand how OpenClaw actually persists the sessions. So it persists the session in two layers. One is the session store, the other is the transcript. So the session store contains a key value map, wherein the key is the session key and the value is the session entry, which contains the entire information about the session. And it also contains the session metadata. The other one is transcript, so which is an append-only conversation history. So whenever a session is there, its entire conversation history is saved in the transcript. So there is basically one transcript per session. Now, once this is clear, you would understand that how Gateway actually resolves the session. So the message that Gateway receives, it contains the session key. So it has all the information like the session ID, updated, etc. So based on that update at value, Gateway decides there is a term called as freshness. So if the freshness is there, the previous session continues. If the freshness is not there, then a new session needs to get started. Okay, now let's say Gateway has decided that it needs to reuse the existing session. So the next step that is there is the context assembly part. So in this step, a very elaborative system prompt is written, and this in OpenClaw happens every single time. So the system prompt is built new whenever a new message request is received. So now in the system prompt, there is a lot of information that goes in. One is the conversation history. So since I told you that every agent itself has its own session store, so it has transcripts, it has session metadata. So that is being used as a conversation history. The next is the user message, normalized input. And third is the system prompt that it creates. So this system prompt contains a lot of information like the tool list and all the descriptions, be it built-in tools or custom tools. It also contains the skills metadata and also the memory. So memory in OpenClaw is saved in markdown files within the agent's workspace as memory.md file. So that memory is then also included in the system prompt. Also all the workspace files, be it agents.md file, soul.md file, tools.md file, all of that is also included along with the time, which is in UTC plus user time zone. That's a static number that goes into the system prompt. Now, after all of this is included, a final prompt is created and then starts the work of the agent runtime. Now, the entire request with the context and the system prompt is then given to the agent runtime, which is powered by the Pi agent core. So this is like the execution engine where the actual work is going to get started. Within the agent runtime, Pi first creates its own session. Now, that session is called embedded because the system prompt that we have built gets injected into this session and then it starts interacting with the LLM. So interaction with the LLM is like a loop. It is not a one-shot process. So when it interacts, if it feels like there is need of some tool that needs to get executed, it does that. If there is a requirement of including the skills.md file so that it invokes that skill.md file, it needs to retrieve something from the memory, it retrieves from there. So this is how this loop continues until the response is received. Now, once a task is completed, in between, it could also save some data to the memory system as well. So everything is done by the agent runtime. Now, the final response along with the session metadata and the transcript is then given to the gateway. So gateway is then responsible for saving the session information of each agent in the session store as well as in the transcripts. And then it gives the response again to the channel plugin, which further formats the response and give backs to the particular source that you are using. So this is how the overall process or overall architecture of OpenClaw looks like. Now, it might also happen that you are sending multiple different messages via, say, WhatsApp at the same time. So what Gateway does in that case is it creates a queue of all those messages so that the first message that has come in gets executed first by the agent runtime, and then the second, and then so on and so forth. Now, apart from these messaging channels, there are some other ways to trigger the events as well. And that is why the overall OpenClaw system feels very proactive and you feel like it doesn't sleep at all and it does the work the entire day and night. So there are primarily 5 ways to trigger an agent. The first one is the messaging channel that we have discussed, like WhatsApp, Slack, Discord. The second one is Heartbeat. So Heartbeat is nothing but if, say, periodically you want OpenClaw to check the system if it needs any urgent attention, it invokes the agent every 30 minutes or 15 minutes as per your requirement. The default is 30. And it checks the system, and if it needs your attention, it informs you. The third one is cron jobs. These are the scheduled tasks which invoke the agent at a particular time. Let's say I have set up a cron job for 9 a.m. in the morning, which informs me that at 9 a.m. I need to get my breakfast. So it could be something like that. Then the fourth one is webhooks. These are the external system which invoke the agent. Let's say you have set up a webhook that if I receive a payment on Stripe, then OpenClaw needs to start the work and update that particular entry in an Excel sheet. So that's a webhook. Then there are some hooks as well. These are the internal system which invoke the agent. Let's say there is a particular task. If it gets completed, then it needs to notify you on Slack. So that's a hook. And apart from that, there are some other ways as well. For example, if you're using CLI or if you're using a web interface, or if there is an agent which is calling another agent, that also invokes the agent. So you need to understand all these ways so that you can also make your system very proactive. Okay, so yeah, that's majorly it about this video. I know I haven't dig deep into a lot of things because I knew that the video would become very heavy and long. But if you feel like there are some particular points on which you have confusion, you can drop your comments in the comment section down below. I'll reply to that. Or if you want me to create more detailed video focusing on a particular thing, also do let me know in the comments. I'll surely make a video on that as well. And if you like this video, do hit the like button and subscribe to this channel for more such videos in future. See you in the next one.